Bethany, do you know what I love about San Jose Toastmasters? What? I was asking Bethany. What does? Good question. I love that we don't settle. We don't settle for being mediocre speakers. We don't settle for being mediocre leaders. And we don't settle for having mediocre mentoring programs thanks to Miss Bethany Eggman. Bethany has spent hours and hours researching best practices so that all of you can edify yourself and become the best professionals you can be. Now, how many of you want to be the best leaders? Fantastic. Then learn how to be the best mentors. Did you know that the American Society of Training and Development has found that 71% of Fortune 500 companies have mentoring programs? Now, why would they invest in these programs? It directly affects the bottom line. It increases productivity and it decreases employee turnover. Learning how to be a great mentor is as important as having a great mentor. The question is, now that Bethany has provided the framework for you to be successful, are you ready to execute on it? Are you? Yes. I am going to give you some tips so that you can be the best mentors you can be. So take out your second handout, and we are going to be learning the PRO formula. PRO stands for preparing yourself mentally, reviewing the materials, and then outlining the meeting you're going to have with your mentee. So first, let's talk about preparation. Being the best mentor means preparing to be them, T-H-E-M, centric. The meeting that you have with your mentee is not about you. It's not about telling them your philosophies on life. It's not venting to them about how Jose is lecturing you again. This meeting is about them and you understanding what they want and how you can best support them and how you can help them find their voice as a speaker and as a leader. Them. Being a great mentor is also about helping them think big. There's this famous speaker and coach, and his name's Bob Proctor, and what he always says is that a mentor is someone who sees more than you can see for yourself. As a mentor, it's your responsibility to help your mentee think bigger. I bet you that Bethany never would have even known that she would have won humor contests just starting San Jose Toastmasters if somebody didn't tell her, guess what, you should do humor contest. I bet you Darren never would have even thought he would be president until somebody said, I really see that in you. You have that potential. It's your responsibility to help them see what they can't see for themselves. So keep asking yourself, what are they missing? What strengths do they have that they can take to the next level? What are their biggest barriers to success? And what can you recommend to them? Who else can you introduce to them? What other resources could you give them? What other trainings and events should they go to? What other opportunities do they have to speak within the club and outside of the club? And what other leadership opportunities do you recommend that they take on? The other part of preparing is in terms of preparing to be a great role model. People don't do what you say. People do what you do. So pay attention to your actions. If you're telling them, Andrew, you need to step out of your comfort zone, then I better be stepping out of my comfort zone. Also be paying attention to yourself in terms of what you're role modeling when things aren't going the way that you want them to as a leader. There are going to be times when your mentee, they make you want to shout, put your hands up and shout, ooh, uh-oh, uh-oh. What are you going to do during those times? Are you going to say, Tom, you never called me back. Psh, that's your problem. Or are you going to stop blaming people and start stepping up and doing everything in your power to make it work? When you have a problem, ask yourself, what's one more thing I could do to make this work? That's the difference between mediocre leaders and leaders that are in San Jose Toastmasters. In addition to preparing yourself mentally, it's also important to review the materials. Now, as mentors, you're not expected to know everything, but you are expected to ask somebody if you don't. It shouldn't be that it seems like you're looking at the materials for the first time along with them. I highly recommend that you refresh your memory about what's in the Competent Communicator Manual. What are the 10 critical elements of any speech? Guess what? Those are the purposes of the 10 chapters. Also ask yourself, what do you wish you would have known? And make a whole list of those things as a leader. The final step is to outline your meeting. Ask yourself, what are you going to tell them? And then what are you going to ask them? Tell them about why you joined Toastmasters. Tell them what you accomplished as a speaker, as a leader, and as a professional. Also, sit down with them and be very clear on the expectations. The number one reason that mentoring does not work is because clear expectations were not established to begin with, and the other person feels let down. Let them know how long you're thinking this mentor relationship will be. Let them know when you're going to contact them, why you're going to contact them, where you're going to contact them, and what's going to happen when one of you doesn't contact the other person. How are you going to hold each other accountable? Sir Isaac Newton once said, if I have been able to see farther, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. Being a mentor is making a giant difference. And on behalf of SJTM, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to make it happen. Now what we're going to do is go into the Q&A section. So Bethany, you can join me up here and we can hold our applause to them.